Koja Mustafa Pasha Mosque. This former Orthodox church, as the adjoining monastery, was dedicated to Saint Andrew of Crete, and was named Saint Andrew in Crete by the judgment. Although heavily transformed during both the Byzantine and the Ottoman eras, it is one among the few churches in Istanbul still extant, whose foundation goes back to the 6th century. The building lies in the Istanbul district of Fatih, in the neighborhood of Koja Mustafa Pasha, along Koja Mustafa Pasha Caddesi. It is placed inside the walled city, and not far from the Church of St. John of Stoudan, on the slopes of the 7th hill of Constantinople near the Sea of Marmara. History. Byzantine period. At the beginning of the 5th century, Princess Arcadia, sister of Emperor Theodosius II, ordered the construction, near the Gate of Saturninus, of a monastery dedicated to Saint Andrew. The building, named also Rhodophilion, lay about 600 meters west of the gate. The monastery was later converted into a nunnery. The monastery of Saint Andrew was known under the appellation by the judgment, after the place where it lay, named the judgment. Saint Andrew of Crete, a martyr of the fight against Byzantine iconoclasm, was killed because of his opposition to the iconoclastic policies of Emperor Constantine V. Due to his popularity after the final triumph of Orthodoxy, the dedication of the church changed from Saint Andrew the Apostle to him. During the second half of the 9th century, Emperor Basil I wholly rebuilt the church. Around 1284, Princess Theodora Oulina, niece of Michael VIII Palaiologos, and wife of Protovestiarius John Ropetralaphase, rebuilt the monastery and the church, deserving the appellation of Second Katerissa. She spent the last 15 years of her life in the monastery, and was buried there. History. Ottoman period. After the Ottoman conquest of Constantinople, the monastery, known by the Turks as Casa delle Kilisesi, Women's Church, continued to be inhabited for a while. Kapikobasid, and later Grand Vizier, Koja Mustafa Pasha, who was later executed, converted the church into a mosque. Some years later, the building of the monastery was endowed by his son-in-law, Celebidi, and the text for the dervishes of the Harvati order. The dervishes were led at that time by the famous son Bulaendi. His turb, a popular destination for Muslim pilgrims, lies next to the mosque, which is also named after him. At the beginning of the 16th century, there were quarrels between Sultan Selim I and Cecil Bey, since the Sultan wanted to pull down part of the monastery to build a top-up palace. When he died, both him and his wife Safi Hedin were buried in a turb in the yard of the mosque, near the turb of Mustafa Pasha. Several Harvati sheikhs were buried in the cemetery behind the mosque. At the beginning of 17th century, Defter Treasury Minister, Igmksiz Ahmet Pesa, let be built Madriz, the gates of the complex, of Zevi, and Ahmet School. About 1 century later, Erkimbaz, Sultan's chief physician, Iradlanandi closed the text and enlarged the Madriz, while Casa delle Gars Het Bazargara, erected in the yard a column-shaped fountain. The earthquake destroyed the dome of the building. It was rebuilt 2 years later. During the 19th century, Mahmud II rebuilt the porch. Sultan Abdulmecid I let the wall which encircles the complex be rebuilt. Some years later 2 fountains were erected in the yard of the mosque. Finally, the building was restored again later. The tradition to light up the minaret of the mosques on the eve of the anniversary of the birth of Prophet Muhammad was born in the Koja Mustafa Mosque.